Yes, people, welcome back to Arsenal Midweek Peek on the Arsenal Lounge. Plenty to talk about, people. Special family, but not Arsenal, but his family anyway. But before we get into it, let's smash the intro.
Thomas, it's up for grabs now! Thomas!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
Champions.
And there you have it, people. Wicked intro, man. Levs and Shaheen. Big
awesome.
Up man.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's fantastic. People, as you know, the obligatories, I like to get out of the way first. Smash the like button and subscribe to the Arsenal Lounge, man. Want to get these guys, get us past 17K, man, the subscribers. But yeah, plenty to talk about. Got no one better than my Arsenal brother. No, sorry, my Man United brother from another mother.
Come on, man. Come on.
People, you know what I mean. But yeah, I've got the amazing at Football One, Dan. Dan, it's been a long time, mate, but it's good to collab with you again. How you been?
Good, mate. Yeah, really good. I was just talking to you off camera. Just so busy at the moment, working mental health. So it has been an absolute beast of Christmas. But yeah, all good, mate. All good. Always love spending time with my man Albert as well. So yeah, happy man.
Thanks, mate. Early people in the chat, thank you for tuning in. I'm sure people will join us a bit later. People on YouTube, if you haven't smashed the like button already, quick, hit it now. Kiss it, caress it, touch it, people. To get them algorithms up. But Dan, so I guess my first question to ask you really is obviously off the back of last season with Manchester United. Listen, you've got a manager that even some Arsenal fans would want if they're really renowned. So I wouldn't mind him 10 Hag. Yeah, sort of how confident were you sort of once he come in that he would turn things around, or was there a timescale you wasn't too sure about?
I was confident. I was always confident when he come in. I think the thing that we've been quite unfortunate to have as United fans is the managers who have come in, other than Ollie, who didn't really, apart from Mulder and Cardiff, there wasn't much there. But other than that, I felt we had Mourinho, perhaps, as it's been proven, at the end of his cycle. Yeah. We had obviously Ralph. Ralph, I still feel bad for Ralph because Ralph never come in to see to see it through as United manager. He had a job past the summer, but that was taken. But with this manager who come in, I looked and I thought, I did so much research, Albert, because as soon as I knew that we had him coming, I thought, I got to know more about this guy because they are all like giving him his flowers, and I haven't got a clue who he is. Like, I know he's the manager of Ajax, but I've never really watched the Dutch league that much. So
of course.
When I looked back at interviews, I looked at the way he was, I looked at interviews with people who'd worked with him. I was like, we've got a guy here, and he's come in, and what he's done, I'm not comparing to Alex Ferguson in that sense of achievement, but what he's done is he's done the same sort of thing that Sir Alex did when he come in, which is come in, clear house, and set the law down. And did I expect us to be anywhere near where we were at this point in the season? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
To overcome so much adversity in such a short time. And I'm just absolutely loving it. I'm loving the fact we've got a man who has his own agenda. Do you know what I mean? It's his agenda. He knows where he wants to be and the club needs to be. So it's just been a breath of fresh air, mate. And it's just nice. It's just nice to be a Manchester United fan again after last season. It's nice, honestly.
Yeah, sort of touch on that as well. So what's the sort of the main sort of key components of things you notice different from last season as to what he's implemented this season? He had a bit of a rocky start, obviously coming in. I didn't personally think he was going to hit the ground running because United there was a lot to do. There's a lot going on. There's a lot still going off the pitch. But yeah, what's the key things you think he's changed?
Attitude, mate. There's a saying, attitude reflects leadership, and that is what you're seeing in this Manchester United team this season. Last season, it was an absolute catastrophe. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. It was abysmal. So this season, he's come in, he's had to deal with the Ronaldo situation. He's had to deal with not being backed by the owners, and before people banter me for the amount of money we've spent at the right time. Anthony, just unbelievable. 85 million we spend on that bloke when we could have got him for 50 at the start of June. Casemiro for me is absolute. He's a beast.
Superb.
the money we spent, just not right for me. He is getting his point across. The scouts, I believe, when he joined within a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 of the main scouts are gone. So what he's doing there is he's setting an example, and he's setting it the way that he wants to run the club. And I don't think he's got a thing wrong yet. I honestly don't think he's got a thing wrong yet. And I think you alluded to the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
I actually think that he knew full well. I'm not saying he walked into it saying, I want to lose these 2 games, but he knew full well, picking the teams that he had, that this was going to prove, look, we are so far behind still. I mean, look, are we the complete package yet? No, of course we're not. We're nowhere near. Are we going to win the league this season? Of course we're not. Of course we're not. This is a project, and this project is a project that I think most Man United fans are so far behind, it's unreal. So it's good. I think he's changed the attitude mainly. I mean, that's the main thing there. Last season, so many leaks coming out before kickoff about teams, the atmosphere around the club. Everyone says who was involved was not a nice place to be. The way he's changed players, which I'm sure we'll get onto later on, it's just been an easy ride for us in a sense as a fan. Do you know what I mean? As a fan watching this and thinking, even when the Ronaldo stuff came out, I was furious, but I sat there and I thought, oh, mate, I was livid. But I thought, you know what? He's just reacted with utter class in this. He could have come out and said, Ronaldo's wrong, Ronaldo's this. He just stayed quiet. He just stayed quiet and took his time. And I think, it's just beautiful. Imagine if Jose would have been in charge when that happened.
Oh my God!
Honestly, Jesus Christ, it'd have been another YouTuber boxing match. Honestly, he'd have been calling him out on. He'd have been the undercard to Jake Paul, wouldn't he? It's ridiculous.
What's Ten Hag's contract at United? By the way, just wanted to double check with you.
He's 4. I mean, he's got the 4 years. He's got the 4 years there.
I said at the time when he come that because listen, I'm not a United fan, obviously, but I thought, you know what. He will need all the years of his contract to turn this around. But as you say, I look at the United team now. I don't see him loads and loads and loads. But listen, he's a good manager, man. For people that did watch the Eredivisie and knew a lot more about him than I did, or maybe yourself, other United fans said, no, look, this guy's a good manager, and he just needs a bit of time. He's gone to one of the biggest clubs in world football. Let's be serious. So,
Albert, do you know what the smallest thing? So I got a stadium tour for my birthday from the wife, and I was like, oh my God, honestly, every time the bloke stopped to tell us bits about this, I was there at the front. You know, I need to know this, and I thought it was quite a knowledgeable United fan, and stuff I found out was unbelievable. But the one thing that they did say, and I thought this just epitomizes the man. The new players, when they come, he makes them do a stadium tour to understand the history of the club.
Wow,
that's just awesome. That is just awesome. I mean, these players know about the club, of course they do. But the problem is we've had so many players who've come that don't care about the club.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's bringing them players in, and you need to understand what this club is. You know what I mean? It's just, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, the way it's great. That's why it's great to get you on, man. Listen, we've done quite a few collabs together, and there's similarities, I guess, with what given time, which we know about with Mikel Arteta. I mean, there was a great. I don't know if you saw it, Dan. Obviously, we had the All or Nothing documentary, Amazon series, but
loved it.
I thought the Monday night special with Jamie Carragher with Arteta was brilliant. It was a brilliant work. Even more of an insight into him and the vulnerabilities and what he's tried to change, the ethos, getting rid of the main men that weren't buying into what Arteta is trying to do. Just to ask you about Arsenal, because I'm going to speak for myself. I'll probably speak for a lot of Arsenal fans, but no one saw this coming this season. I have to be honest. I looked at sort of average ages of the squads in the Premier League, and I thought, if Arsenal are going to get into a position where there's going to be a title change or title challenge, or be in contention, I didn't think it happened for a good 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. But the way the season Arsenal started this season has been nothing short of a miracle. How have you seen it from sort of a United fans, and how impressed you've been with Arsenal?
Do you know something? I said, in fact, I think I said it on your channel. I think I said it on a couple of things that we've been on together. the moment for me with Arteta, where I sat there, I thought, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy is, and I knew that the board were backing him, was the Aubameyang thing.
Yeah.
The second that happened, for me, that was the manager saying, this is my ship. You either get in or you get out. And I think, honestly, again, with Arteta, it's just, he has had a bit of a journey himself with Arsenal. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I remember the start of last season. I was up in Scotland with my friends when you just got pummeled by City.
Yeah.
Xhaka got sent off again. I remember saying to my friend, well, that's the end of Xhaka for Arsenal. I can't see it. There's no way back for him. And I think Arteta could go here. And the fact that your club stood by him and said, no, we've got a project here, we believe in this, and then coupled in with the what was it, the Amazon
documentary, All or Nothing, yeah.
All or Nothing. And I watched how he was around the club, and I watched how the owners were with him. I watched how Edu was with him, the whole relationship there. I'm not surprised this season. I'm genuinely not, because and that's for a lot of reasons. Liverpool situation. In football, you have cycles.
Yeah.
Fergie always said, you buy when you're at your best. Liverpool haven't done that in the correct way. And I kind of felt with the players getting on and coming to the end of their cycles, I thought that they're due a drop-off here. Whereas with Arsenal, you've got the perfect mix of youth that he's brought in there. So you've got obviously Saka, you've got Martinelli, Odegaard's still young, you've got Smith Rowe, who hasn't really featured much this season due to injury, and Tekia. And the players that he's brought in, what he's done is he's brought in a spine in that team. Ramsdale, Saliba, Gabriel,
Ben
you've
White.
got Xhaka doing it through the middle, Ben White, Odegaard. You've got a spine. And I've always wondered with Arsenal, and this is something I think you've missed for a long time. I don't know if the guys who are watching agree. For such a long time, you missed that tenacious, I'm going to win it all. I'm going to sell my wife at the local shop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're building that with the likes of Partey. Xhaka is Marmite to Arsenal fans, isn't he? He is. But this season, I tell you what, Arteta's not only getting a tune out of him, he's making him sing. He's got him at the Brit Awards winning best male. Do you know what I mean? He's taking the awards. So it's not a shock. It's not a shock. Can you keep it up? Well, at the moment, you've answered every test.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But there's one test you didn't answer, and that was United.
Well, it's coming back around. But no, it's interesting you say that, because I mean, I've gone on about Arsenal. I thought, how can I start? So defensively, we have a youngish defense, but there's a bit of Premier League experience now. This is Gabriel's third season. Ben White's been in the Premier League for the last 4 years now. Kieran Tierney, obviously, he's been here the last few years. He's had injuries, but he didn't really need time to get used to adjusting to the Premier League and the pace of it. But we've got a defense that a lot of Arsenal fans can actually get behind and trust, and obviously including Ramsdale. I think Ben White, I'm a massive fan.
I love Ramsdale. I love how he is on the pitch. I love the way he carries himself. I just think I love him. Absolutely love the bloke. And what happened to him against Spurs was just absolutely disgraceful.
Don't even get me started. They're still talking about it on quite a few media outlets. And we might touch on it.
Yeah. But you know something? There's a player you didn't mention there, which was Saliba. Now, I know some fans think he's quality. Arteta got a lot of stick for not bringing him back off loan. Keep loaning him out. Why'd you keep? Because Arteta knew he wasn't ready for the Premier League. And this season he's come in. He's had some games where you look and think, "Oh Christ, Saliba!" But the majority of the time, you're looking, thinking, "This boy can play, and he's got a massive future ahead of him." So again, that's another decision I think Arteta got right. How many more decisions can the guy get right? And I think you've just got Arsenal fans. I hate saying this word, patient, but be patient and just enjoy the ride this season. Because honestly, you're ahead of City, you're ahead of Liverpool. You've just absolutely slapped Spurs in their own, in their own town. You know what I mean?
Beautiful, Dad. Enjoy
it, and love it.
No, you make some good points, man. Like I said, the defense. I mean, listen, people know my thoughts on Ben White. I absolutely love him. I think he's one of the best English defenders around this season. I think he's been superb. But you know what, Dan? You know what it is? I think the biggest thing as well is Arsenal was seen as a team that were a soft touch. You could bully them. You could kick them off the pitch. That isn't the case. I would say going back to a little bit of last season, we went to some tough away grounds and we ground it out, and we've got a bit of nastiness, and we're a bit of a more of a threat from set pieces from a defensive side of it. And we're a big physical imposing side now. The likes of Tommy Yasu and Gabriel and Saliba and Ramsdale's about 6'1", I think. Ben White's about 6'1". So there's a bit of a nasty side to Arsenal.
Look back through the years. Whenever I used to look at the fixtures and I think Arsenal got Bolton this week, Bolton will have them. Burnley will rough them up. This is the thing. You can have the best intentions in the world, but it's when your team knows when to get in with it, get fit, get in the thick and battle and go to war. And there's players in that squad that will go to war. Xhaka doesn't need much. He can go to war with himself in a square room, but. That's what you've missed for a long time, is that steel and that fight. And look, at the end of the day, people moan about Arteta on the sideline. I get it, but if it's Klopp, we're all going, "Oh, Klopp's amazing. He's so funny, isn't he? So funny. Look at the way he's running up to the fourth official and screaming." And it doesn't matter. At the end, look, he gets away with it. So this is why we love watching football. Do you know what I mean? These characters. They just leave us wanting more. And I think, honestly, there's only one way this completely goes off the rails, and that's if you were to get so many terrible injuries. If you were to get 3 or 4 bad injuries, and I can see it. But the other thing as well that mimics the United side, which I think you're probably about a year or two ahead, is that togetherness in the squad. Yeah. Second half against Spurs, they all come out and they're huddled and they're, let's go.
Yeah, we have to dig in. We have to dig in.
Exactly that.
Now, so with the Arteta thing, it's interesting because I remember seeing a piece down when he was at Everton as a player. And I always say this, I think, listen, Mikel Arteta could play. From what I remember, before he got that major
Championship manager legend, mate. Signed him from Rangers on Championship manager legend.
Yeah, before he got that major injury at Everton, he was out for quite a long time. Big injury, ACL. And that's where he said, in terms of, I think he might have been about 26, 27 at the time. I think, Dan, I'm not too sure. But when he had the time out, that's when he started thinking about coaching. He mentioned about Pep on the Monday Night Football special, that Pep got in touch with him when he was still playing to say, come on the coaching side. No, I'm still playing, so I'm not ready for that yet. So, listen, he certainly has done his apprenticeship, most definitely.
But to go to Arsenal for your first club and
big
as a young manager to come in and mould it, like you look at Ten Hag. Ten Hag's, by Arteta's means, such a more experienced manager, has won trophies in another league. Arteta, I think, for a long time has had so much negativity towards him because he's wet behind the ears. He's learned a lot, and I think as a manager, you learn more about yourself when you're in the trenches. And I think he's learned a lot about his ability. And I think you look at him now. For every interview I've ever seen him, he has that self-belief. I am going to achieve this. This is what we are going to do. So yeah, I think, mate, love him.
Yeah, listen, he's been. I think you know what it is. I think with and I always use the key word sections of our fan base. It's almost as if they went so far in. Listen, I was at a point where there was a lot of fans, Arsenal fans, will have to be honest and say, look, there was a point in our time when he was here where the results weren't what they wanted to be, and he was very lucky to be in a job. But I always said this: he must have said something in the first interview that stuck in the Arsenal hierarchy's mind. Obviously, when it didn't work out with Emery, for them to get the go the second time round. So, listen, he's got some of the players that he wants. As you mentioned, injuries and squad depth. We'll touch on that. But yeah, coming back to sort of United. Obviously, from the games I've seen, Casemiro is just wow.
Honestly, I'd divorce my wife for that man. I love him. I just love him. You seen that footage of him when he got took off at the weekend, and he was trying to get back on the field, and the physio's got. He's like, "Get off me! I'm getting on the field. Get off!" Oh, I just love him. So coming back to you, Dan. Sorry, who is sort of the players for you for United that have really really stood up since Ten Hag's come in, or who surprised you, or who you kind of thinking, you know what,
this is what I saw before. Now we're seeing it again.
So, I mean, the obvious choice is Rashford, but as much as I think people are obviously giving Ten Hag, a lot of credit, and they should. It's the Benny McCarthy thing with me with Rashford, and Rashford's
come in. Of course, Benny McCarthy, yes.
Yeah, and I think he's helped him a lot. The likes of Luke Shaw. I mean, converting Luke Shaw into a centre back, and Luke Shaw it does not look out of place as a centre back. Obviously, I do prefer him at left back. I think he's quality, but the player for me that I thought would struggle and I thought would be perhaps maybe out the door is De Gea. I thought De Gea, because of the way that Ten Hag wants to play, I thought, and especially the first 2 games, I thought, oh my, against Brentford, I was like,
I remember.
But I was honestly, I've never played in goal, but I was lacing my gloves up thinking, right, I'll go and give it a go, but he's a lot more confident receiving the ball at the back now. He's never going to be an Edison or an Alisson, completely comfortable with the ball at his feet. But I think the improvement, we all know De Gea is a good keeper, but my argument for a long time about De Gea has been, his stats last season were really good in the sense of shots saved, but that's because he had shots fired at him. We had a terrible defense. So it's law of average. A keeper's going to make loads of saves. So I think he's been unreal, De Gea. And apart from the mistake against Everton, which I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't fathom that had happened. I think he's done really well. Now, the next side to that is they're looking at the new contract with him. So there's 2 sides of that. They didn't extend it by a year. Now, apparently with goalkeepers, that's quite a usual thing. That's normal. They always get that option, don't you? You can extend it. But the other thing for me is how much he wants to stay, and the fact that now he's coming out and saying, "I'll take a pay cut. I'll take a pay cut." He's the most expensive, the most overpaid goalkeeper in the world. He's I think, 375 grand, but he wants to stay, and he will take a pay cut to do so. Now, whether or not Ten Hag looks in the summer and says, "You've done well by me. You've done that job, but I'm moving in another direction," that remains to be seen. But I really have enjoyed De Gea's performances.
I was going to ask you. You touched on it with Luke Shaw. I mean, where's that come from? The playing centre back. I mean, obviously, we know that we know about the situation with Harry Maguire, and whether he just doesn't fancy him, as simple as that. And obviously, Lisandro Martinez is on the bench. Why has he gone for Luke Shaw at left-sided centre back? Why has that happened?
So, I mean, he has played at left-sided centre-back for us before under Ollie, when we were playing the 3 at the back and then, the 5 at the back. He played the left side of that. Now, I suppose a lot is seen in training. Martinez going away and obviously celebrating for a long time after the World Cup.
Oh, never get me started, yeah.
Oh, mate, honestly, I'd still be celebrating now. To be fair, even as a fan, I'll be on my 54th sick day now. But no, it's got to be something that he's seen in training. But the thing about Shaw was one of the players at the start where everyone thought Shaw's not going to be able to hack this with Ten Hag because he's a disciplinarian. He demands the best. But Shaw's another one that looks a more leaner version of himself now, and I think he's another player that's bought into the whole thing. So I think it's training, it's attitude, and it's belief. He could have quite easily brought Martinez back in for the game against City. That's a massive show to say, look, I'm sticking with you because you're doing a great. And also, I must say, against City, I thought he looked immense. Looked like he played there his whole career.
No, listen, he's turned it right. I'm getting a bit of an echo. Can you still hear me, Dan?
Yeah, I've got you, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll try to put the microphone back in. It might make a difference. But listen, United, is it 9 wins on the spin and you're playing tonight, obviously, against Palace? So I'm not going to keep you super, super long, mate, because you probably want to tuck into a couple of beers, maybe a bit of takeaway food, whatever. But sort of. Obviously, we've got you on Sunday. I'm not going to the game, people. If people have been asking me, I'm not going. Couldn't get a ticket. No surprise, because Arsenal's ticket demand this season has been. Listen, we're not going to get into it because we'll be here all night. But what's your kind of thoughts and feelings towards that game? How are you feeling at the moment? I know you got a game tonight, but how are you feeling about the game on Sunday?
I think we'll smash you 5-0. No, I'm joking. No, I've said this. I said this when I was with Potts and the boys last night. It is so important for United that we don't lose. Okay, I'd happily walk away from. We haven't got the best record at the Emirates anyway. I'd happily walk away with a draw. Score draw is what I think it will be. But this is the start of a big month for Arsenal. Okay, Arsenal have got United. You know, they've overcome Spurs. Most people are at the moment. You've got City twice now. They're the key games, because I think if you don't lose both, I think you're on your way. If you lose both, that is a 6-point swing. That is a massive swing in the race for the title. So I just, as long as we don't lose, that's all I want. If we can go there and keep going the way we are, disciplined, I'll be so happy. Just can't lose there. We can't lose.
One thing I've been, well, I hope you do lose, to be honest, Dan, I'll be honest. How much I like you, that is. But yeah, one thing I've been impressed with Arsenal, what I think a lot of Arsenal fans have wanted to see, is, Dan, I used to get so sick of coming up against the big six, particularly away from home. It's been very, very well documented, our record playing against teams where our win record is awful. And I thought, you know what, if we're going to start being taken seriously, and potentially going for league titles, we need to start picking up points in these games. We need to start getting the W. So beating Liverpool at home was huge for me. There's a few Liverpool fans that, I'll be honest, not on the YouTube sense, I can't stand them. So that's why I wanted to beat them. And I think at the back of their mind, a lot of Liverpool fans and maybe some of the media outlets thought Arsenal started the season well, but Liverpool will turn them over.
Oh, mate, there's this complete tosser on TikTok. He's an Irish bloke, Jonathan, whatever. I can't remember his name. And I'll be honest with you guys watching. When I go to the toilet, I take my phone so I can have a scroll whilst I'm doing my business. And this tosser, honestly, just keeps going on about we're back, we're not. This is a Liverpool fan. We're back, we're not.
Yeah.
But he was going on today. His new one is if Arsenal slip up here, this will be the biggest loss. And I thought, didn't Liverpool lose a massive lead in 2001, 2002? Were they like 12 points or something? I can't stand this idea of people just giving Arsenal and other clubs so much crap because their club's doing so bad. Concentrate on your own club. Do you know what I mean? God, it frustrates me. It absolutely ruins me.
Yeah, Dan, that Liverpool home win was when we had the run of games, I think we beat Tottenham, which we've got a good record at home against Tottenham anyway. They haven't beaten us the Emirates since 2010. So I thought the Liverpool game we'd win. Just with the way they started the season. But to win that was huge. To go to Chelsea and win 1-0 and keep a clean sheet, massive. Go to Tottenham away. We ain't beat Tottenham away in the Premier League for almost 10 years. And we've done a double over him, just to remind them. And my YouTube Tottenham wife, if she's watching, this is for you. But Arsenal to compete in these big games was massive. So for me, come Sunday, put a marker down again and win. That'll be huge. Our away form this season has been impeccable. I think we ranked first in probably all 6 metrics in terms of, it's been superb. Our away form has been excellent, better than I ever thought it'd be. So, but I think I'm confident going into the game on Sunday. It's not going to be easy because, Dan, I always look at it and I think sometimes it's timing when you play certain teams. If we played United 4-5 months ago, it might have been. I might have felt a bit more like not overconfident, but more confident maybe going in Sunday. But I think it'd be tight. But I think Arsenal might just. I think they might just nick it. A point wouldn't be a disaster. As I said to Arsenal fans when we drew at home to Newcastle, look, Newcastle are a very, very different side under Eddie Howe. They wasn't going to come to the Emirates and play champagne football. It just wasn't going to do that. But it's mad. It's a good time to be an Arsenal fan, Dan, to be honest with you. But Dan, I want to ask you something, right? And I'm glad you mentioned it early in the stream. I don't want to keep you long, but as a United fan or rival fan, Arsenal fans have spoken for many, many a year about the agenda against Arsenal, right? I've always thought it was there, but for me, I've noticed it more prominent in the last probably 4 or 5 years. And I remember seeing a comment, and there was a segment on TalkSport with Simon Jordan and Martin Keown talking about the North London derby. And I checked the comment section, and it said the agenda against Arsenal is atrocious. By the way, I'm a Leeds United fan, and I thought, wow, for another fan of a football club to turn around and say that. Dan, have you seen it over the years? Are you seeing it even more so now?
Do you know something? I think my thoughts on TalkSport have always been mud. I can't stand them anyway. And actually, I think when you had Robbie on from AFTV was on there giving, trying to give his opinion about, look, this is a whole new world now. People like TalkSport, BBC are running scared because these fan channels are taking over. They are. People want to see what people like us want to say. They know that the likes of TalkSport, they're sat there, they have an agenda they have to go through. A lot of it is personal, personal vendettas against people in the club, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I agree. There has, but I think that this is happening more and more in football now. I think it goes in cycles, and I think people like TalkSport especially can't stand the way Arsenal have been. And actually, I think Laura Woods being on there, that has ruffled. That is cat amongst the pigeons,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can see why that agenda's been there, but I think a lot of it is because, I mean, look, let's be honest. AFTV was probably one of the first fan channels that I started watching. And I think that's where the birth of fans having their say. People may not agree with it. People might be watching this and say, Dan, you're overweight, terrible bearded man. What on earth are you talking about? Of course. but this is what it's all about. And this is a new wave of football fan, and I'm loving it because this is what it's all about. 20 years ago, we couldn't do this. I couldn't sit here and talk to you about this sort of thing, Albert. Do you know what I mean? So I think there has been an agenda, but it's the same. It's the same old story, mate. The agenda against you will change if you do win the league. Because if you do win the league, then it'll be a new agenda. It'll be other people. Do you know what I mean? Other people are wanting you to fail, wanting you to slip up. We'll be looking for as much dirt as they can. So mate. It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. Happens everywhere.
Yeah, I'll be honest. As an Arsenal fan, I've not seen it this bad. I mean, going back to last season, the over celebrating. I mean, I didn't see this at the time, Dan. I don't know if you saw it, where I was on another channel at 9:00 on the same day we beat Tottenham, and someone put in the chat box about Richard Keys. I thought, what's he said now?
Oh, mate, he's just a joke.
I mean, Dan, I'm not being funny, right? Even if you don't like someone, in your position as you are, with obviously you're not in this country anymore, you're doing your thing in BN Sports, but to turn around and say that the reason why Ramsdale got kicked in the back was because of Mikel Arteta, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I honestly, I don't understand how that view was even given legs, because crazy.
What did he? I mean, from what I've seen, you guys might have seen something different. I watched the game with my wife, and all I saw him do was, the sort of 2-0.
Really nothing bad, yeah, I know.
And I'm sorry, but Ramsdale as a person, how many videos are there of him having banter with the crowd behind him all through the for the last 2 years? That's what we want in football. Yeah. That's what we want. That is just, it's, I mean, obviously we don't want him doing a Cantona and kicking, jumping into the crowd.
Yeah.
But that's what we want it for. And I think people like Richard Keys, you mentioned the word dinosaur. Well,
yeah.
How he's still on runtime, I don't know. He's a joke of a person, an absolute joke of a person.
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, I saw articles written after when we played Newcastle, for example. Arteta. To be fair, Mikel Arteta has acknowledged this. He has said it. I need to kind of maybe.
But why? But why?
But no, you know what it was? When it was, I saw a piece on the Telegraph from, I think it was Jason Burt, and he said, this is an example of Arteta's inexperience. I thought, hold on a minute, hold on.
Oh my God!
Jurgen Klopp, Conte, Pep Guardiola was seen kicking a water bottle by accident in the opposing dugout. It's not inexperience. It's complete nonsense. I can't see what I'm hearing.
Passion. It's passion. This game is nothing without passion. I'm telling you now. I mean, I remember when Jose. When Porto knocked us out the Champions League, and Jose I was like, yeah. But now I look at it now, and I'm like, if that was me, I'd be jumping in with the crowd. I'd have been.
Yeah.
You cannot take this. You cannot take passion away from the game. You take passion away from the game we turn into something that we don't want to be. We turn into robots. So keep it going. Is he hurting anyone? That's the thing. Is he hurting anyone?
Man, it's crazy. It's like when we beat Fulham at home, 2-1, and that's when it started with Richard Keys. He's going in on Arteta. He's looking at him waving his arms up and down like a windmill. I thought, what's up with this guy?
I wish we could see the footage of Richard Keys after Klopp rescued a 2-2 draw against West Brom. Do you remember? And he had the players doing the. Yeah. Come on now, do me a favour. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Mental. It's ridiculous.
There's one player I want to ask you about of Arsenal. It's actually interesting. I don't know if people in the chat will agree, and obviously when they watch this back, but Martin Odegaard, not many. To be honest, from what I see on the socials, not many, but there was almost kind of not sure about him, and like when we first had him on loan, and I don't know, we paid too much money for him. Listen, he's undoubtedly got an amazing talent, gifted on the ball, beautiful player. What have you made of him? What you've seen of him?
So the thing for me with Odegaard, right, and I don't think this is touched on enough. The mentality in that bloke. Well, he is a bloke. I'll call him a bloke. He went to Madrid at 15. The media hype around him was, this guy, he's 15. How many players have we seen have that media hype and crumble? Bostock, Freddie Adu for 2 that were talking about on TalkSport. For sure. The mentality that guy come back, he went on loan to Sociedad, I think, and did reasonably well there. I think he went to Holland to Herenveen or something like that as well. Went back to Madrid, had a little bit of game time. Went to Arsenal on loan, and then you've signed him. And I tell you what, this is. I honestly think, give it 2 seasons, people like Madrid will be coming back in for him. I honestly think you could see, because he's got such a mature head for such a young lad. And actually, some of the passes that boy picks out,
done.
I mean, I can't, honestly, the passes that he sees, the reverse passes.
Amazing.
Those reverse passes could pass a driving test. I'm telling you. honestly, they are absolutely, the vision. So, and the thing as well is he's adding goals to it now. He's
got 8 Premier League goals now. I think he's top.
Stunning, mate.
Yeah.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Dan, it's crazy. Within our fan base, I'd say not. I wouldn't say the last few weeks, but a couple of months. The minute he doesn't have a good game, they're piling on him. I'm like, look, my only criticism of him is that I wanted to see more of a consistent performance with him from away from the Emirates.
Yeah.
And shoot more because he gets himself into great positions, but pull the trigger. Definitely. But listen, that was the only thing. But listen, he's an exceptional talent. Like Sanson in the chat, a very, very intelligent player. Him and Zinchenko, the reverse passing and always that ability to look forward.
I like the way he comes across. The way he comes across in interviews as well. I like the way he comes across in interviews. He seems quite humble, and actually, there's that culture in that team now, that Arsenal team. They really are all in it together, and it reminds me when I look at them. Take away the Harry Maguire on the unicorn picture, but when England in the 2018 World Cup, when the squad just come together and there was that tight. You see that with the Arsenal boys, and it's amazing to see. Honestly, I think, as I said at the start of the show, Arsenal fans just enjoy it. Enjoy what's happening this season.
And you're a United fan, Sam. It's true, because I think with Arsenal, what used to kind of I've been doing a YouTube thing now since June 9th, 2020, right?
8:30.
Yeah. So it's I think what it was for me, Dan, like Arsenal, it wasn't just that we were doing poorly, we was getting ridiculed. Yeah. Even the sort of banter type YouTubers, I've not seen them for about the last 12, 18 months. Because when your take on football is just purely banter, what can you say about Arsenal? The top of the league by 8 points. Our away form is the best in the league. We're playing great football. We've got a fantastic defense. As mentioned, you said it's spine of the team. Scoring goals by committee. What's there to banter?
And that's it, mate. And that's it. And look, it's the situation where a lot of clubs that are doing the bantering are the clubs that are struggling. It's as simple as that.
Well said.
It's as simple as that. It really is. If Klopp goes the end of this season, we'll go back to hearing through Liverpool fan. We'll go back to the same old Liverpool fans. history. We did this, we did this, we did this, and it's like I get that there's that almost sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Animalistic sort of tribal thing with you support your team, but for me myself, I just love watching football.
Yeah, well said.
And that's what I've probably watched. I don't think I've missed many Arsenal games this season because I've just enjoyed watching them play. I've just enjoyed watching them play, and I think that's the thing. When Liverpool won the Premier League, I hate saying it, but I enjoyed watching them play. Yeah, I enjoyed the way they played football. So you're going to watch a team and you know something, you're going to hate something that you want to be. Simple as that. That's the way fans are. Do you know what I mean? It's the way we are. It's the way we're wired. So yeah, enjoy it.
I'm going to touch on one more thing, Dan. In terms of so I don't know how you feel in terms of United, in terms of what you feel you might still need and the transfer window. What was it? The January 18th today. So I'll be honest, Dan, as an Arsenal fan, I said this on my channel when I did my show on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, Monday. I'm concerned because Arsenal traditionally during January, it's not been great. Many Arsenal fans will testify to that, regardless whether you're my age, 21 plus VAT, or an early fan in their early 20s. We've not seen a good strategy or a good window in January. We go back to last season. We didn't strengthen from a position of strength to cement a top 4 place. The Arsenal will come out with the reasons to why they didn't do it. I didn't agree with it personally. We're in a better position now. We're going for a league title. Things can change, but we was heavily linked with one player. We didn't get him. He's gone to Chelsea. We've gone over that as Arsenal fans. I'm concerned. I would say I'm on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm at 7 because I'm not sure. We need a bit of help. We need a little bit of help. We need a couple players to come in and help. How do you feel in terms of your side, United side? Is there anyone is there anywhere that you need to strengthen more?
Well, I think United. I think we need a whip round because we got no money. We got no money. Honestly, I'm hoping that someone like a Newcastle comes out and says we want to pay 50 million for McTominay, so that Chelsea come in and spend 80. Do you know what I mean? We need money. Just honestly, it's unreal. Yeah, look, the thing I will touch on with United is we've done so well this season without a recognised striker. The Ronaldo situation was just awful. Ronaldo, sadly, with Ronaldo, time's caught up with him. His body is an older body now. He's not in his head. He's 24, but his body is saying, "Look, Cristiano, we're not there anymore." So I'd still say with Weghorst we've got, and I think.
That's a smart signing.
It is a smart signing. And this is what I was going to say. There's so much. I mean, I'll be honest, when it first broke, I was like, what? We're looking at Felix and we get Weghorst. But then actually, when I looked at, again, my research, had a look back through, take Burnley out of it, he has been a really solid striker wherever he's played. So I personally would still like us to bring in someone up top. Because I just worried at Martial. I think he is literally running. I think they're literally gaffer taping him together before every game because he's so injured. It's unreal. But other than that, I'm all right, because the way I look at it, on the right you've got Anthony, 85 million for that. Right? Honestly, anyway, I can go to Power League and watch people do what he does on the ball. Do you know what I mean? 85 million, can't pass the ball more than 5 yards. Ridiculous. Yeah. But we've got Anthony and we've got Sancho, who's now back in training. I'm really excited to see what happens with Sancho because I think we're going to be shocked. I don't think Ten Hag invests the amount of time that he has done in him, getting him back to Holland, training himself, I don't think he spends that much time unless he sees a player in there. So we've got Sancho and Anthony, and on the left, we've obviously got Rashford, and we've got Garnacho. My God, Garnacho is... I mean, I've been to Old Trafford a few times this season. I'll tell you something. I haven't seen a player since peak Rooney and Ronaldo that's had me out of my seat as much as he does.
He looks very exciting.
Oh, mate, he's stunning. Absolutely stunning. So I still wouldn't mind another attacker. We won't get another CDM in, and that's a bit of a worry because if Casemiro gets injured. But another lad up top would be good for me. But other than that, look, we got Super Jack Butland. Do you know what I mean? We're flying high. We're flying high.
Yeah, the thing with Arsenal, and I said this actually quite early doors, Dan, is Arsenal. This might upset Arsenal fans, but we're not going to get another striker in because I thought.
How long's Jesus got left now until he's back?
They was talking. They said originally. They said the end of February. I'm hoping it's quicker personally, but we'll see. With injuries, we're not too sure how he's going to rehabilitate from the injury. But yeah, I didn't think Arsenal would buy another forward. I thought they would probably. Eddie Nketiah won't play every single game, so you could play Martinelli down the middle. The plan, obviously, looking at it from the outside, was bringing Mudryk to give a bit of respite. The links with Moussa Diaby from Leverkusen. I would be dumbfounded. I think it'd be lunacy for Arsenal to bring a couple players in, because one thing we've always speak about as Arsenal fans is our squad depth. It's not strong enough. We've got a brilliant first 11, Dan, but squad depth is a major concern. But time will tell. Arsenal fans, you can panic now. It's the 18th of January. We've got another. Yeah, it's going to be tight, Dan. It's going to be really tight.
I'll be honest with you. I've still got this feeling that United are going to. I don't think we'll buy anyone because we haven't got the money to do it. But I still think there's a shock transfer coming, be it a loan deal, but or whatever. I still think there's a shock one coming in to Old Trafford. I don't know. I've got a feeling. It's weird, honestly. Everyone like a manager Sunday League football team, right? In Foxes lost. We're awful. No, we're not. I'm really joking. I manage a Sunday League team, and honestly, I was saying to the boys at training, I've just got a feeling that United are going to bring someone in. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping with Arsenal. There's a plan B and C. I would like to think so, Dan. I can't believe a hierarchy would be that stupid, knowing the position that we're in. But yeah, I'm concerned, if I'm being honest with you. But we'll see. Time will tell. But Dan, man, it's been a pleasure to get you on. What's your score prediction for Sunday?
2-2.
Ooh, I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal to nick it.
2-1. Yeah. It's going to be close. I do think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 either way. I just think this is going to be another game like, United on Saturday against City. It was like a game of chess first half. It really was. And then obviously the goal happened, which Jesus Christ.
That's another subject.
Yeah, honestly, Christ almighty. But I see the same sort of thing happening on Sunday. It's going to be such a tactical game. Yeah. Arteta's going to want to get revenge for the start of the season. But Ten Hag's a smart bloke, He does his homework.
It's gonna be a good game, man. But Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure to get you on, and obviously collaborate with you again, and tell the people where they can find you. You do great work with non-league as well, mate.
So I'm actually, this is a bit of a strange one. So I'm actually in the middle of restarting because I've got my At Football one, which is my non-league side, which, to be honest, again, I haven't had chance to do a lot with it with work. But as I've been doing more and more shows talking mainly about United, it's sort of made me think, I want to get back into talking about United a lot more. So I will be starting a new channel up, which will be coming soon. But at the moment, you guys can find me at Football Once. You can hear me witter on about dross, absolute dross. Moan about United, but no, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a real pleasure, and you've got some really good guys in the chat there, guys and girls. Some questions that were coming up there and some points made were fantastic. And for everybody that's watching, I'm really sorry, Albert, just to steal the stream a second. As I said before, I work in mental health. We've just come through Christmas. Energy bills are doing what they're doing. It seems every time you turn the news on at the moment, it is bad out there. But if I can ask you all to do one thing, and that's to make sure you talk to each other, reach out to each other. If any of your friends have gone quiet and you haven't heard of them for a while, reach out. It takes 2 seconds to send a text. And just make sure you're there for each other, because I tell you what, it's a loopy world out there, but we're all in it together. Yeah, Dan, I echo that 100%. Well said, man. Absolutely. People, you heard it here. Yes, Arsenal Midweek Peek is over for another Wednesday night. There's a football game, and I'm gonna watch United. I'm gonna watch it as well. But, we're gonna bloody lose tonight. Honestly, I've said on my Twitter all day, I'm more worried about tonight than I am Sunday. I really am. So, Christ almighty.
No, thanks, Dan. Great
Thanks,
to have you on again. But big up to people in the chat as well. As I said, smash the like button and get the Arsenal Lounge over 17k subscribers. Obviously, your host, AlbertJTV. I have my own channel, AlbertJTV, and Twitter handle at AUMO57. Come and check us out, people. Yes, that is Arsenal Midweek Peek. Over and out. I will see you soon, people. Come on, you Gunners.